Well, hello there, YouTube. Sad day in rock and roll. We say goodbye to Ozzy Osbourne. Unreal. Not even 2 weeks passed since his farewell concert, and he's gone. Ozzy Osbourne passing quietly, surrounded by his loved ones in the night. No other information available as of now, but they knew he was not well for some time. And it's amazing that they were able to pull off that tribute. And considering he must have been, when he's saying, "Mama, I'm coming home," he must have meant it. As it's not even 2 weeks later and he's gone. So death affects us all in different ways, and you consider your own mortality and think about the loved ones that you may have lost. So it's always a tough thing. It's not bittersweet. There's no good in it when you lose people. There's no good in it. And this is huge. This is say what you will about the guy, but he's, if you take him out of the picture, I mean, they pioneered heavy metal. And the interesting thing about this guy was, if you really read his lyrics, he wasn't a Satan worshiper. At least that's not what the lyrics point towards. The lyrics point towards Christianity. And like with Sabbath, they used the cross, they used the symbol of the cross, and they stood behind that for protection. If you understand, when they went out on tour, one of the bandmates' father made them these iron crosses to wear for protection. It's only until we see Diary of a Madman, he's got an upside down cross behind him. He inverts the cross. But looking into, I mean, the first Black Sabbath song is about awaking in the middle of the night and there's an evil presence in the room and being terrified that it's being sung from the first person, and the realization that this evil presence is there to take you. And like read the lyrics of Children of the Grave. It's a song, it's a protest song against the military industrial complex. Read the lyrics in War Pigs, where he says, "No more war pigs have the power. Hand of God has struck the hour." It's beautiful. It's beautiful lyric. So ultimately, this guy was really smart, and the people behind him, meaning his old lady and people working in that crew, like as far as how they handle the business end of the deal, they have a reputation of being cutthroat business people, but also really doing what's right as far as the business model would be concerned. Even into the 90s, we see them getting into reality television, redefining that. I mean, wasn't that the best reality show? I don't know, you tell me. I didn't watch any reality TV except for the Osbournes. And what little of that I did watch was because my wife loved it. My wife loved watching that show. Now, I got to be honest with you, I didn't own any Black Sabbath music as a kid coming up. It was enough of a put off for me. Seeing like the Speak of the Devil live album where he's dressed up like a demon with the upside down cross stuff, you know what, I did end up with a copy of Diary of a Madman. I did have that to listen to Randy, and that's like the only thing is I really don't see how that could have been a sacrifice, but it seems more like it was an accident or a suicidal pilot, but this rumor that you could see them fighting in the plane as it came down is absolutely insane. That's terrifying. That's really, really scary. And then there was like people that they didn't pay. You know, so understanding that this family, they're all unbelievably rich, and their kids are celebrities too. Their kids all have money too. They're so unbelievably rich that the last concert that they did, they donated huge amount of money to charity. So I think we are going to see Ozzy is going to be remembered kindly as he kissed that social corporate ring through the television thing. And even more recently, the family was doing a vodcast. So they were on top of it. They were smart in how they operated their business and ruthless, you know. I just think that the water around him was really clouded, and he even spoke out in that song. I don't know. I mean, he completely. It seemed like he was just as confused as anyone else. And also, of course, a lot of this behavior was for the media. You know, a lot of the madman biting the head off the bat, that, you know, obviously pre-planned. Getting busted at the Alamo, probably pre-planned. So when you have someone in the public light like that, and they have this persona of being kind of like he wasn't even in control of his own facility. That's how he came off. But I don't think that was the real Ozzy Osbourne. I think he was way smarter than he would let us to believe. And like if you look at the business decisions they made, like when they put out, like Randy dies, they immediately get another replacement guitar player. Who was it? Brad Gillis? I don't know. There might have been another guy in there, but when they put the live album out, they re-recorded all of Ozzy's vocals. Which, again, really smart thing to do. You know you've got a hot product, you want to capitalize on it. The tapes come back, and there's issues. So what do? Re-record the whole thing and put it out as a live album. So if you haven't read the lyrics to Children of the Grave, that's like a nuclear war protest song. You should take a look at that today and understand that the image that they were projecting to the media of this guy, like he was some kind of a satanic Keith Moon character, that was a fabrication. That wasn't who this guy was at all. And that he spiritually, his message was run from darkness. That was really the message that was in the lyrics. And then you have what they put on display was this Prince of Darkness, where he's this this evil old man. So very complicated character, and it's almost like his job was indeed to shock people like youth pastors or anyone in authority at a church or establishment like that, and give them enough ammunition to boycott him, to drum up people on the who are on the sidelines who are like, Ozzy, yeah, that guy, he's for kids, he's pretend. But then if there's a bunch of church people marching in front of the concert venue, say, if you go in this concert, you're going to burn in hell. That's a pretty appealing idea for the guy on the sidelines to get himself a ticket, right? So, number one, brilliant. Number two, putting on a show. There was a lot of hanky-panky going on there. So not only was it that he was smart, his management was really smart in how they pulled the strings around the media to present this guy as this Prince of Darkness. Because if you watch that show, they were constantly playing slapstick music and having him fumbling with the remote. It was like he was supposed to be this old codger who was just goofy. So ultimately, as the world says farewell to this guy, we'd only hope that his message of peace doesn't fall on deaf ears. That's the most important thing for me when it comes to Ozzy Osbourne. Would be that embracing darkness, because if you understand him, he struggled with addiction, and he came to speak out against that. I heard him saying, when you're in the throes of the addiction, it's the worst. It's the worst place to be. So here was a guy who took a lot of liberties with reality, you know, and left behind a really complicated legacy, I would say. So I don't think this is the last we will hear from that family. I think you can look for Sharon coming out with a new boyfriend sometime in the near future. And I think we'll see more of Jack and the other one with the plastic surgery. Interestingly enough, they have an older daughter who was never in the picture on the Wackadoodle TV show. She opted out on that. The smart Osborne. And now more recently, I just saw a video with her where she was talking about it. So, yeah, I got to be real clear. The reason that I didn't own any of those recordings was because of a Bible verse that says, give no appearance of evil. Okay? That's why I'm wearing this light colored shirt. This is the type of stuff I wore when I was 18 years old. I wasn't black leather and black. I didn't look like the guitar player on Stranger Things, the Metallica kid. That wasn't Petey. And it was hard enough for me to conceal my minute collection of Pink Floyd cassettes from my mother, who would throw that stuff in the river when she found it. So the idea that I would go out and get some Black Sabbath or Ozzy Osbourne would be the Black Sabbath album that I had was Born Again. It's the one with Ian Gillan, and it's a kind of a goofy album. Like, I think they were Sabbath was partying a lot, and I know Ian Gillan was he was an alcohol guy, but alcohol guys they'll dip their nose into the cocaine to keep them up and able to knock back a few dozen more drinks. So, and I think there's a rumor that there's a song on that album called Digital Bitch, and that's written about Sharon. Keep away from the digital bitch. She's so rich. Digital bitch. And Zero the Hero, I always took that maybe that was a jab at Oz. I don't know. I love that album. I really do. I think it's great. I think it's a little, the mix is horrible. The production is awful on it. But I love Born Again. And it's not like I feel like I missed out with Black Sabbath. Like I never saw Ozzy perform, and that was a conscious choice. I very well could have went to one of these Ozfest things, but like I said, this is not. I'm not a headbanger at heart, you know. I mean, I have an appreciation for that music. I'll tell you what, Judas Priest is a great band. They are great. Maiden. I got to see Maiden. And so many of the other 80s metal bands. I love that music, but it's the other end of it. It's the dress up, and painting yourself into a corner socially. It really that has an effect when you wear that uniform. It has a strong effect. And me being one of the good guys, I don't want to masquerade as a bad guy. So keep no appearance of evil. And it's one of those things where the idea of being a Motley Crue fan or an Ozzy Osbourne fan is not appealing to me in the least. That's not to say I can't enjoy the guy's art, his music, because I do. I absolutely love it. But it's not the kind of thing that I'm going to keep in my house. There's already too much baggage with that stuff. And when I see an upside down cross, no, that's going to be the deal breaker for me. Call me superstitious, call me whatever you want. There's enough wickedness and temptation in this world that I like to surround myself with things relating to the light. And ultimately, now that this guy's passed, I know the world is going to miss him. So, respectfully saying farewell, and my thoughts would be with this family, and of course, all of the fans who are going to be affected by this. But I also wanted to come on here and talk about my understanding of who he was, because I was never, I wasn't fooled. I understand that they were using that pentagram type thing. See, they never did. They never did, but they used the upside down cross. And that for me was enough stepping over the line. And it's also just how people perceive other human beings. If you're walking around with an Ozzy Osbourne shirt on, that means that you probably got some heroin in your pocket. You know what I mean? Sad day for rock and roll. But ultimately, he lived a charmed life. How many people are able to do what they did and have this classy farewell thing? So it's not really that sad to me. It really isn't. He lived a very fulfilled life, as far as I know. Certainly didn't have to worry about where his next Budweiser was coming from. So, is it really a sad day? No. This is life. So the takeaway is cherish your moments here and give no appearance of evil. Right? All right, you guys. Hug your pets and peace.